Hi guys, it's Christina and I'm back with another guest designer layout for SpiegelMom Scraps. And this is a picture of my daughter. It's a pretty recent one. We were just on vacation in northern Michigan where I'm from, and we went to Mackinac Island, and so this was just taken when we were wandering through the gardens of the Grand Hotel. So nothing too special or anything that way, just a really pretty picture of her with a bunch of bright flowers. So I am taking that black and white 12 by 12 paper, and it's just an old paper from a Studio Calico kit, and I am covering half of it with the white cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and take that pink triangle, and this is from the Illustrated Faith She Blooms collection, and I'm going to add that to the top part so that I end up creating this kind of triangular background that's pieced together. And this has been kind of a popular layout lately. There's a lot of pattern papers that come with this already done, but you can also create the look really easily on your own with pattern paper that you might have in your stash, just like I did on this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim that pink paper to make sure that it's the same size as the white cardstock below. When I cut it a little bit big just to make sure that I didn't have any mistakes and that everything was going to match up the way I wanted it to, and then I just go back and trim it after. So what I'm going to do with my sequins on this layout is I'm going to create a border divider that goes between each of my pattern papers. And so I'm going to show you a little bit of what that's going to look like here, where the idea was kind of forming in my head. And then I'm going to do a lot of the work off screen, but I will show you one little section about how I went about doing this. So right now I'm just trying to decide if I'm going to like how this looks. So I'm taking sequins from a whole bunch of different packs of sequins from SpiegelMom Scraps. So you will see sequins from Amy's Sprinkles, Hot Right Now, A Mermaid's Tale, Raspberry Daisy Dream, and Passion Flower. And I will link to those products below. And there you see I have taken my photo and mounted it just with a white and a black border. And then that blue pattern paper with the hearts is also from the Illustrated Faith She Blooms collection. And so here you can see what I have done is I have taken my adhesive, and it's just 1/8 of an inch. And I am using that along the edge. And then I'm using my tool from Silhouette, which is just called the Pick Me Up tool, to pick up and place sequins along that adhesive border. So I'm just using that score tape. Like I said, it's 1/8 of an inch, so you can't see it, but it will stick those sequins in place because I'm going to go back and also stitch them in place to create a little bit more interest. So what you'll see is I have all the sequins just kind of laid out in little piles on my table, so all the colors I knew I wanted to use. And then I'm using that Pick Me Up tool to just place them on that adhesive one at a time. No pattern to it, just kind of varying the colors, trying to come up with something that's going to look really detailed and bring some interest to the page. I am going to keep the majority of the rest of the page simple so that these sequins do stand out. And this is a really neat way to use these because it does add a lot of interest. And all the lines I create with the sequins point inward towards my photo. So it really draws your line into what the focus is and what I want you to see. And so off screen, I went ahead and finished adding all of these sequins and taking up the 3 different sections of the layout. And then I went ahead and stitched through the middles just in kind of a zigzaggy hand stitching. It's not perfect. And then I also added a sticker from the She Blooms collection to the top left and the bottom right of my photo that has that little green scallopy edge. It had a phrase on it, but I didn't need the phrase, so I just covered that part up. And there you'll see I'm going to play with some of the embellishments that also come in that Illustrated Faith She Blooms collection. So that one just says Grow in Grace, and that's going to be over the photo. And then I'm going to create a cluster down in the bottom right, where I have a few different layers of flowers, and then I also have the word grow, which is going to serve as my title. So rather than having a big, crazy, funky title, I'm going to go with something very simple on this layout because there's a lot of other stuff going on, and all those sequins kind of add all of that extra. So the rest of my layout ends up being pretty simple. I do go back with a black pen and outline around all of those flowers and details so that they do stand out a little bit more. And then I also outlined the white section of cardstock over on the left, so that kind of connected with everything. And then I just added some journaling, and it just says, "Beautiful Adventures at the Grand Hotel." So I hope you enjoyed this layout, and I hope you will play with some sequins. They are super, super fun. And I'll be back next week. Bye.